Hey guys, Island Turtle here. Welcome to BOMISpirit. This is an impromptu live. Excuse me. As you can tell, my place is not exactly set up yet. It's gonna be a while till I have like a proper recording space, but until then, I'm gonna be recording on the floor pretty much. So I was actually getting ready to do the weekly, and because I was supposed to do the weekly yesterday, but my asthma's been super bad. Like LA smog killed me. I got up here and the air pollution plus like pollen also killed me, and my asthma was like killing me. So I took yesterday to try to like rest my respiratory system. So I was getting to it today, and I was like making my notes, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go live, I gotta go live, I gotta go live. And I kept hearing Gemini and also the number six, specifically 606 was coming up a lot. And I was like, all right, fine, I'm gonna do it. Um, because I am still recovering with my asthma, just give me some, be patient if I need to take a minute and cough or whatever, or use my inhaler. But yeah, so let's see what's going on with all of this. I know astrologically today, something that's significant is that we are starting Gemini season. The sun is at 0 degrees Gemini in Tropic, and Mars is at 0 degrees Leo. Excuse me. Oh my God, as I said that, energy just moved through me. Wow. The sun is very tightly sextile Mars today. In, in Gemini and in Leo. That feels good. That feels good. That feels like putting the keys in the ignition and turning the car on is what it feels like. Like some of us may feel like something is back in alignment today, something is being initiated today, something's being catalyzed today, or we suddenly can move in on something today. That's how it feels to me. Like suddenly the brain is a little sharper, the brain is on, and our vitality is a little stronger, our motivation's a little stronger, our confidence is a little stronger. Now, Leo and Gemini are very social signs as well, okay? So it could also be that you're feeling more motivated or even more confident when it comes to social, excuse me, situations, or creating opportunities within social situations or collaborative efforts, because Leo and Gemini are also both like hardworking signs as well. Gemini more so in the research, analytical area. Hey, Brooke, hi. Um, and a Leo obviously being a little bit more of like taking initiative, leading, but still has that social component, right? So interesting energies going on today. I wanted to pull some cards. Now, oh, sorry, there it said talk about six. Get around to talk about six. So six as a number in numerology, before actually, sorry, let me preface this. When it comes to all of these studies, whether it's numerology, tarot, astrology, um, different divination tools, there's always a subjectivity to it, right? It's like, and some of us, not some of us, but there's also been this like standardization of this is truth, this is not. But again, there's always subjectivity to everything, and there's always something to discover. So people might have different perspectives on the number six, or even what 606 is, or as oh my God, Amelia. Sorry, it was so hard to say. 666 even means, and that's a whole video and topic in and of itself, right? We're not going to get into that here, although who knows? Maybe we will. Uh, from my perspective, from what my own connection is with the number six, and what I have seen and what I have studied and what I have researched throughout my time here, it's the energy of harmonization. That's how I look at the number six. I look at six as like, it's interesting too, because I just realized even the way it's drawn is like a vortex. Hmm. I just literally realized that. I just saw it and I was like, oh yeah, it's a vortex. It's a vortex. It actually, if you think about it, six kind of looks like the Fibonacci spiral, right? It does. It totally does. I just realized that. That is kind of cool. Anyway, six. Six to me is harmonization at the core of it. And of course, you can go deeper into that. But I also look at six as a reflection energy. Like there's something about the six that kind of pulls on the past, kind of pulls a little bit on, like when you even think about tarot, right? Like the Six of Cups, the Six of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Six of Pentacles. It's like there's something about the six that pulls on other things, pulls from the external, pulls from the past. And even when when you start looking into numerology, when you start looking at life paths and things like that, the number 6 is associated more with like Venus and partnership and harmonization and empathy. But there is this very like giving and intertwined nature to the number 6. But I like, now that I'm like really speaking on it, like sitting here, I'm starting to look at 6 as like almost like this numerological like manifestation of interconnectedness, which makes sense if it's representing harmony. Hmm. That's interesting. All right, sorry, hold on. I need a little water. I need a little sippy sip. Mm. Excuse me. I associate with health because of astrology. That makes sense too. That makes sense too. I've definitely seen that take on it as well. Yeah, because it's associated with with Virgo, with the 6th house, which is all about the physical vessel and harmony and all of that too. Like Virgo energy, the 6th house is really good at like, how do I want to say? Yeah, finding a nice sustainability and equilibrium to things that need to continue to function, which is very much 6, right? The fact that I just realized it's like the Fibonacci spiral, I'm just like, how did I not see that before? It's right there. I'm sure there are people who've made that connection before, but I'm like, that just occurred to me. Uh, mm. And then when you start getting into larger numbers in numerology, like 606 or 666, they start to take on these kind of more complex meanings. Like if I were to look at 606, that to me that actually speaks of not just harmonizing with spirit, but also harmonizing with the external and with other people, that but working through this, like being divinely guided to do so, through the energy of God, through the energy of zero point, which is the energy of God. It's like, it's, you can look at 0 as like the number of spirit in a way, and with the 6 meaning the 6 through the 0, but that would equate to a 3. That breaks down to a 3, which also makes sense because for me, 3 is a catalytic energy. 3 is like fire. It's like the pyramid. It's the spark of creation. It's the spark of doing. Now, other people can look at it as like, excuse me. Some other people look at the energy of 3 as like collaboration as well, communication, learning, all of that sort of deal. But sorry, there's so much energy moving through me all of a sudden. But when we move from the 2 to the 3, it's taking parts and literally creating something out of those parts. It's bringing those parts together to birth a third. That's what the energy of 3 is. So interesting that that's coming up here. Let's go ahead and pull some cards and see what else is coming up with that. Now that we're in Gemini season, this is actually something that was coming up as I was driving up here, was this past Mars retrograde. Now we're well past the post shadow of this last Mars retrograde season, period of time, however you want to phrase that. But for those of you guys who were new, or maybe you weren't privy to what was going on, Mars retrograded in Gemini, and it was a 6-month cycle. It was very long. It started in September and ended in March, from the pre-shadow to the retrograde to the post. The retrograde also started right around the Scorpio eclipse, the new moon Scorpio eclipse at the end of October. It was a very crazy period of time, and it was teaching us a lot. A lot of the lessons that we were faced with, and I say faced with because it's all free will, right? It's like, these are just windows of opportunity. It's just if you're aligning to that and jumping on board with that. But the lessons with Mars retrograde were about, are you really ready to be adaptable enough to follow through on things? Are you actually going to finish what you start? What is your level of obligation, and how are you also collaborating with other people? Does that need to change in the way that you're doing that? It was a good review on masculine energy, which I think a lot of us have really felt and observed in our own lives since then, like especially now that we're well past the post shadow, how that's all taught us to be how do I want to say, more accountable to how we manage our lives, right? And the role that we play in the way we take action in work or friendships, relationships, what have you. So it's been interesting because we've also been going through this whole like coming into a deeper feminine power at the same time. So there's some balancing happening there. But coming to present time, the reason they're bringing this up is now we're actually in Gemini season. The sun is now in Gemini, we're going to have a Gemini new moon coming up in like about a month because we just had the new moon in Taurus, right? Again, this is all in tropic. There's going to be this kind of like reflection. Oh my God, this is why the 6 is, I just realized why the 6 is coming up. There's going to be this reflection to that period of time from last September to March, everything that happened, everything that you were struggling with, everything that you were faced with, everything that we learned during that time and how we grew. There's going to be this quick reflection or tie to the present moment during Gemini season, and probably more so during the Gemini new moon, which, hold on a second, when is that? When is Gemini new moon? Let me look at that. Bringing it to the present so we can move to the future. 606. That's totally 606. Sorry, I'm getting excited because I'm like, oh, this makes so much sense. Where are you? I got the astrology calendar on my computer right now. June 18th. June 18th, the new moon. June 18th, new moon Gemini. Ooh, it's at midnight East Coast time. So it's really the evening of June 17th for some of us. So depending on where you are in the world, June 18th or June 17th. But get this, the day before on June 17th, Saturn retrogrades in Pisces. Interesting. Okay. That's interesting. On the new moon, Mercury will also be home in Gemini. Pluto will be back in Capricorn. Oh my God, Pluto will be back in Capricorn. Yeah, this is totally going to be reflection back to that period of time. 100%. Especially with Pluto being back in Cappy like that. Because during that whole retrograde period of time, Pluto was in that last degree of Capricorn. So yeah, we're going to have a little bit of energy of the past kind of coming into the present, but it's to move forward into the future. Present day, today, 521. We're working with all this Taurus energy right now. Even though the sun is in Gemini, we're still working with Taurus. Jupiter's in Taurus. Jupiter's working with Pluto. Jupiter's also working with the North Node. On June 1st, Jupiter will go exact conjunct the North Node in Taurus. And like I've been saying, it's all about this push forward. It's all about moving into this new era. It's all about believing we're in a new era and establishing new foundations, new ways of looking at resources and money, new ways of looking at sustainable living, all these things, right? As it relates to what you feel your own purpose and mission is in life, whatever fulfills you in life. That's the energy that we've been in. So we're in this continuing like energy of being pushed forward. And now that we're in Gemini season, there is this energy of the past being weaved into the present to help us move forward as it relates to what we're going through with Mars retrograding in Gemini. Got it. Understood. And when Saturn goes retrograde, that's going to be interesting too, because Saturn's in Pisces, right? When Saturn retrogrades, just with any planet, when any planet goes into its retrograde phase, there's this tension that starts to build. There's almost like it kind of goes internal in a way. So when Saturn goes internal, sometimes we can feel like it's really hard to get things done, or it's hard to do things. We may feel like we're just being restricted in some way, even more so. But in Pisces is internal itself. It's intuitive, it's spiritual, it's the void space, it's everything that is non-tangible, right? So I almost feel like it's going to have a Plutonian effect and kind of probably bringing up more of the past as well, because that's also what Pisces is about. It's literally the void space. It touches everything all at once, right? And this is all about interconnectedness as well. Okay. Understood. Let's move on. Let's move into cards. No wonder I had to go live today. It was like, talk about this now. Pluto and Saturn pop quizzing us to see if we've actually learned anything. Yeah, it might feel a little bit like a testy time. I wouldn't be surprised if some of us feel a little tested, especially if you guys have any strong Gemini placements, right? Like if you're Gemini stelliums, for those who don't know what stellium means, it's if you have multiple placements in one sign, like 3 or more. Or if you're like Gemini moon, sun rising, North Node. I've been including Chiron too, as well. Yeah. Sorry about that. I thought my phone was on Do Not Disturb. Anyway. And as far as sign readings, guys, I've been moving. So I'm just gonna say this because someone's asking like when I'm gonna do a specific sign reading. Guys, I've been moving. All right. It's been a lot. I moved across the ocean, and I also had a cat at the same time that I had to, you know, manage. I had to figure out how to get my stuff here. I had to figure out how to get my car here. I literally drove over 2,200 miles last couple weeks. It's been a lot. Okay. I do things when it's in my alignment to do so. All right. So that's how I roll. That's how I work. That's how a lot of you who've been with me for a while know that's how I work. And if you're not cool with that, this might not be the place for you. I'm just saying. All right. Let's keep it going. Where are you now? I'm now in my apartment, but I've only been here for like literally 2 days. So yeah, I'm officially here, but it's been like day 2, you know? It's okay, Marty. I get it. It's okay. But yeah, I do things as they're in my alignment and they're in my flow. I don't function off of like tight schedules anymore, because that's for me, that's not a sustainable way of living. That's not how I roll. But it's okay. I get it. I understand. No judgment. We're good. Don't worry about it. All right. Any messages or insights regarding this message? Let's see here. Oh, nice. Nice. The dream. Something is revealed. Insight and breakthrough. Purification by water. Emotional cleansing and rejuvenation. 32 breaking down to a 5. It's interesting, right? Because I was saying it's like there's something that feels catalytic in a way, but it's being pulled on from the past. So something that didn't make sense around that time, it almost feels like we're getting even more clarity from what was going on through Mars retrograde. And there was a lot that went down for everybody. It was a weird, funky period of time. I didn't know a single person who didn't struggle at some point during that craziness. But even more clarity is going to come forward, especially if there's been anything that like you're still kind of holding on to because you haven't had clarity on it. This is a period of time where it's all just going to make sense. All right. And you can actually let it go. You can actually let it go. I'm also hearing this too, where it's like, I don't know if this is like a thought you guys are having, or if this is like actually like you've actually said this, or some of you have like just like having this thought kind of like rolling around in your consciousness. Like, I thought we were liberated. I thought we were liberated. I thought we were free. I thought this is a time to be free. I thought this is a time to be liberated. And it totally is. There's more clarity and liberation coming. There's more cleansing coming, especially that purification by water, right? The dream. This feels so Neptunian. This feels so Neptunian. Getting strong moon vibes there too. Why am I getting strong moon vibes? Hold on a second. I feel like that's about Cancer. That feels feminine, Cancerian, emotional. Is something about the moon. Hold on. Why is this coming up here? If any of you, again, have strong Gemini, you probably also have something going on with Cancer as well. You could be a cusper in one of your placements or many of your placements. But I just keep getting pulled to Cancer. Now, Pallas Athena was in Cancer for a while. It's now in Leo. It's been in Leo for a bit, but Venus is in Cancer still. Mars has now shifted from Cancer to Leo as I'm recording this. So we still have this like Cancerian energy in the air, right? And with all this like Sedna primordial unlocking of like this deeper, older, ancient, like feminine power, feminine wisdom that's been coming up to the surface, I feel like that's what it's relating to. I feel like that's all of what it's connecting to. But they keep mentioning the moon. Some of you might feel really connected to the moon. Some of you might feel very influenced by the moon as of late. I feel like I'm not hitting on the deeper message here. There's something about being affected by the moon. Oh, excuse me. It's just as I got days lids, I just said that too, right? Being very much affected by the mood, being more sensitive to the moon. Some of us may feel more sensitive to the moon, which means we probably are also just feeling more sensitive in general. That's also something that's been going on collectively with all this Piscean energy that's been going on, all this Cancer energy that's been going on. But that's just how it's coming through. Spending time with the moon might also be very beneficial. If there is this growing sensitivity, it will also give you more clarity as to why that's happening. It'll give you more clarity as to why that's happening. There's also some weird dream time stuff going on. Hold on, this is coming up now too. Recognizing what's going on in dream time that is of light and what is not. When there's intrusions versus like very clear divine messaging happening, that's getting more clear as well. I'm hearing lucid dreaming. Some of you are getting better at lucid dreaming. So these are just various messages coming through for the collective. So again, take it as it resonates, but let's move on. Harmony. The energy of 3, which is like, you could even associate that with the 3rd house with Gemini. Power, self-confidence, productivity. I like it. Things are moving. Things are grooving. We already knew that that was the case, right? Again, this is all about pushing forward, pushing into the future, into the future, into the future. But what this Gemini season is going to be helping us with is this harmonization from the past, right? Bringing the forces of the past into the present to weave it into the future. Balancing it all. Balancing it all. I like it. That's cool. Can I get one more? Some of you thought May was going to be your month. June's going to be your month, is what I just heard. Ooh, flame tree. The start of something new. Energy of 30. Also bring it down to a 3. So it's interesting we're getting 6s and 606. And look, here we have 303. 303? 2 3s and a 0. Yeah, that's how it's coming through now. Those of you who thought May was going to be your month, June's going to be your month. There's a little, I've been getting pulled back to this card. Some of you may feel like you're going through a little bit of a Neptunian moon, murky, dark, shadowy, confusing veil, where things seem kind of gloomy, things seem kind of blue, things seem really kind of like, what the hell? I thought we were moving into good energy. You are moving into good energy. You're just moving, through this veil first. Yeah, there's a moving through this veil first. Some of you may have a cry. Oh God. Sorry, shaman burps. A lot of shaman burps today. Some of you may have a really good cry, a really deep cry. You may even feel triggered in this, like something triggers this to happen. It could be an encounter with the external. And for those of you guys who are new, when I say external, I mean like people in your reality, like friends, family, lovers, work, people on the street, the news, whatever it is, things that are not within your own little inner world, right? But let that happen. It's part of the past being weaved into the present in a way where you can actually weave it cleanly. It's part of the cleansing, right? Taking that past energy, bringing it into the present, cleansed, to weave it, to move forward, right? To reach that level of harmonization. So if you move through this dark veil, again, it might feel shadowy. I just feel sad. I just feel sad and crying. That's just what it feels like. And that's also what crying is in a way, right? It's like when we start to cry, it is purifying, it is cleansing, and it is by water, right? It's by water and it's by salt. Crying is very purifying, but it's because you're just moving into this phase of harmonization. And again, it's also being woven into this whole Gemini theme, astrologically speaking. And I love that flame tree is here, the start of something new. That feels inspired, that feels on fire, that feels lit, that feels like making it. I'm hearing circles. Some of you feel like you've been going around in circles. I feel like that's actually emotionally, like almost like emotional roller coaster, which makes me think of the moon. Even moon Gemini makes me think of moon Gemini, which actually, as I'm recording, I think the moon is in Gemini. Wait a minute. Let me check on that. I'm pretty sure that's right. It is. Yeah, the moon is in like degrees Gemini right now too. So that makes so much sense. It's okay to feel like you're going in circles. I feel like it's all about these themes of the spiral. That's just what you've had to go through. A lot of our experiences are not linear. right? They're not really supposed to be because nothing's linear. Everything is a spiral. But needless to say, this is the energy that I'm moving into because you're in the spiral of weaving. All right. Where did the deck go? Wait a minute. What the hell? Oh, I was like, the deck got up and walked away. Let's see if any other cards want to come out. God, there's a lot of threes here. I just realized there's a 3 in the 32, the 3 in the 3, the 3 in the 30. A lot of threes. And I just realized 4, 5, and 6, if you add them together like that. Funny. Ooh. This feels like a veil, like the cards that just came out, but we're going to talk about it real quick. Okay, yeah, it's weird. Like, because even the way they came out, it just felt like, what's the word? Scattered, shadowy, like not grounded. But they're not negative necessarily. We have the message, positive news, positive outcome, paired with temptress, seduction, deceit, a broken promise. Meh. This feels like just moving through the shadow, being uplifted through that weird veil. There's also a coming to light too of, wait, oh God, this came through before. I know I said it before. With the temptress, there's this also, this is kind of like a 7 of Swords energy, and I am getting that vibe of like being confused on certain like people or certain projects or situations or environments, etc. Insert here, where it's like you couldn't quite figure it out. Like, is that good? Is that not good? Is that the path to take? Is that not the path to take? Is that a friend or is that not a friend? Like having this like again bit of confusion and maybe even a lack of closure. Whether it happened during that Mars retrograde phase from September to March, or it's something that's just coming up again. Getting really clear on friend or foe, getting really clear on light dark, getting really clear on for me, not for me. There's a getting clear on it, but it's because you're moving through that veil, right? And then here we have jewel within a teardrop, appreciation, spiritual and emotional reconnection with winter's end, regeneration, rebirth, positive outcome. So again, this continuing to move through the veils as we're moving through this like weaving past into present to future in this harmonization that's happening here. That's all these two cards speak about really, is coming through that dark period of time, the murky period of time, even if it's really short, and coming out the other side with gratitude, with recognizing I understand why I moved through that. I understand it was part of a cleansing. I understand it was part of just weaving into the present so I can really push forward into the future. Nice. Overall, this is kind of like the perfect card to come out. We have yin yang, creating harmony through balance. 40 breaking down to a 4. Creating harmony through balance. You don't even need me to explain why that's here. That's all the energy of the 6 of 606. Moving through the spiral of this crazy reality and the spiral of your emotions. So yeah, very cool. So it's gonna be an interesting Gemini season. This is gonna be an interesting Gemini season, especially when the new moon Gemini happens. Let me look back at that. Yeah, June 18th. And again, right before that, Saturn will retrograde in Pisces. It looks like, how many hours is that? Is that 12 or 11? Actually, it's almost, wait a minute. Okay. Saturn retrogrades 11 hours and 10 minutes, which honestly might be 11 hours and 11 minutes before the peak of the new moon. That's interesting. And how many hours? Whoa. Oops, hold on, I moved too fast. And Jupiter will go sextile Saturn. Is that 11 hours again? What? 11 hours after the new moon. Guys, this is weird. 11 hours before the new moon, Saturn retrogrades. 11 hours after the new moon, Jupiter goes sextile Saturn. We live in a crazy reality, don't we? Anyway, I don't want to hang on too long because I do need to do the weekly, and I've been putting it off so I could take care of myself, but I really should get it done. Um, let's see. Sounds like initiation. Are you still doing astrological chart offerings while you're in motion, or are those on hold? They're on hold until I'm like, you know, till I'm solid in my environment. Like right now, I'm surrounded by boxes, and it's weird because like so I shipped all my personal belongings that I didn't travel with, right? So I traveled with two suitcases. One was like clothes, and the other one was like all stuff for Clyde, and then like cards, like work stuff, just like the bare basics of what I needed. Um, and then I shipped everything else that I didn't get rid of. So if it didn't fit in like a shippable box, I didn't take it, basically. So I'm like, I've got these boxes with me, and it's like it's weird to look at them all lined up together because I'm like, this is everything I own. It's like, I don't know. It's just a weird like thought to have because it looks like a lot, but then I'm like really thinking about it, I'm like, that's actually not a lot considering how small the boxes are. Actually, I guess I could just show you guys. So it's like, that's it. Oh, and I bought a plant because I need life. I need life around me. I need plants around me. Um, yeah, it's just weird. It's just a weird feeling to be like, this is it. Right? Sweet landing in your new home. Oh, thank you. Uh, yes, we do. Thank you, Island Turtle. You're welcome. You're welcome. Itching to know next week's energy. Okay, before I go off, I will say too, I haven't looked at the astrology of this particular day, but 525. Something feels significant about May 25th. Again, I don't know the astrology yet. I mean, even the fact that it's 525, right? Um, oh, wait, 525, 2023. That would be 577. That breaks, wait. 577. That breaks down to 19, which is cyclical because that breaks down to 10 or 1. I don't know. There's something about May 25th because it keeps coming up for me, and I'm like, what's going on that day? But I'm gonna look into it, and you guys will see. So patrons, you guys will have the weekly today, and then YouTube, you guys will have it Monday. Okay. I was very excited and inspired, and suddenly extremely fearful. It's like the energy is uncomfortable. We are an uncomfortable energy too, because like we're being asked to really move into this new energy into the future, right? And even when you think about like the way we think of the future, right? It's like it's innovative, right? It's innovative, it's new, it's doing things we haven't done before, being people we haven't been before. That is uncomfortable. That is uncomfortable. But we're being asked to embrace that too. So it's my birthday. I'm a dragon. Happy birthday. But yeah, something about the 25th. I don't know. But I'm going to go and make my notes and get into that. And I will see you guys later. I hope you guys have a really great Sunday. Yeah. So, and thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with me. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Okay. Take care.